Today is day 3 on my journey to 2000, and today I played 4 games. Yesterday, after I recorded the video, I did 120 more puzzles, and then I did 123 puzzles today. So I actually caught up with my chessable puzzles. I'm going to start adding more of those. But I played 4 games, and they didn't go that well, but I saw some patterns in the first 3 games that might help me for the future. I'll go over that in a bit. In the first game here, and I reviewed these a little bit before the recording right now. In the first game, I wanted to close the position because I felt like my opponent is probably used to like playing the modern defense. I don't know. I feel like people my rating don't really play it often, and I'm not used to it. So I was like, okay, if I close this off, there are no tricks here to get my rook, and maybe this is a game that he won't be familiar with. So I closed the position off. Thinking back, I mean, obviously the engine says it's not a good move. I think it's, being able to stop him from castling and then eventually castling myself, I would be able to put a lot of pressure on the king, and then it ends up being closed anyway. So I don't know what I was thinking. I guess because if he takes with the bishop, I take with my knight, and it's like the same result. And if he just pushes forward, then it's closed, and I can just take and have 2 center pawns. So I don't know why. Thinking back at it, like analyzing it again, I thought it was kind of stupid. And then here I wanted to keep the pressure. I wanted him to take, so I keep my 2 center pawns. And I don't know, I thought I could have an attack maybe, but that doesn't make sense because I closed myself off from the position. But anyway, the game progresses. And yeah, I basically let his queen come in. And this is kind of the pattern in the first 3 games I have. Knights before bishops is a thing you learn when you just start learning chess, right? My knight just didn't move. I was like, nah, I don't need to move it. And I disregarded how strong the queen was. Like when the queen came here, I just saw this and I'm like, oh, this is an easy move. I just protect the pawn. It took me like 3 seconds to make. I didn't even think about it coming into my position and how like loosely I was holding this position. And here I blunder. I'm like, oh, I just get the free rook. I didn't even see the knight coming in, which my opponent saw, and that pretty much lost me the game. I couldn't think of a way to protect everything. Like even this, like, what do I do now, right? So that just lost me the game. There's no point of really looking through the rest of this. I had no way to come back. So. Okay, second game. Also, knight moves. I got lucky how this game progressed. But it was interesting anyway. I always accept the gambit for queens when people play the queen's gambit. I just feel like it's... I don't know. Oh, I only have a 43% win rate with it, but I don't know. I feel like people don't know how to play it if it's accepted for some reason. And here... Yeah, I just saw the best moves. I don't know. I was thinking about this, and I was proud of myself, I guess. I was like, yeah, the knight here is so good, because if he takes, I could take, and then I get the bishop, and then, like, I don't know. I thought through this pretty nicely, I feel like. And I castled to get into safety. And here's kind of an example of how knights before bishops, like, knight moves in sharp games feel like they're very useful, at least in my games, at least in these first 3 games, and I don't take advantage of that. Like, this is a threat of a fork, but it's also a threat of winning this with check and getting the bishop. So it's like, there's a lot I could have done with that knight. But I castle, because I was scared, I guess. And then I start attacking this pawn, and I'm like, okay, it's a backwards pawn. There are no pawns protecting it. He really only has 2 pieces that can protect it. So let me put more resources towards it. And even here, it's like, the computer's like, nope. Nope. You come here, and you're chilling. Look at this attack. Jesus Christ, And if the rook moves away, you could get the pawn for free, maybe. But then I'm letting the rook develop. I don't know. I want to just immediately put pressure on that center pawn. And I purposefully let go of that pawn to get this check in. And I was just putting complete pressure here, and I was lucky my opponent blundered here. This was the better move. I didn't want him to take this, but... I guess this check was, like, I had so much material coming in, it didn't even matter. But anyway. Yeah, my opponent blundered a couple times, then forfeited right here. Nothing much there. In this game, This was a perk defense. And I purposefully got it into this position. Like, while we were playing it, I was like, oh, this lets my rook develop and I get control of the file. That looks really nice. And I was right. Unfortunately, I didn't see this. Or I did. I thought he just takes this. And I was like, what do I do after he takes my pawn? Yeah. And in this example, I actually like push the knight forward, but I don't capture this pawn. Like, it's interesting. Like here, taking the pawn apparently works because then I take away the defense and I could get the rook. And it's still a pretty even game. But yeah, I just start attacking everything. We start trading. I have to look at this craziness. And I kind of blunder here. I just made this move. Actually took some time with that move. I don't know why I didn't think about coming here. I was scared of some like castle and then, or not. Was he able to castle in this game? I remember it. But I was just scared of the rook coming out and like pinning my knight. I don't know. I just didn't like this move coming here. But it's the only move that prevents like check. Like this doesn't work because then I take with my knight. And I get checked, and then I just get lucky. My opponent just completely blunders. I was like, what? Made no sense to me. So after taking both of those pieces, my opponent resigns. And in this case, it was also kind of like the knight. Like I had to, I'm not utilizing knights well enough. In the fourth game, it was a different type of mistake. Not with knights, nothing like that. Oh, by the way, this was really weird. I wanted to put pressure here, and I knew his knight will just go here to defend, but I thought I'll just push back and I'll put pressure with my bishop. I don't know what I was thinking. It didn't really do anything. But yeah, this position was really interesting because I feel like we actually like moved our pieces around a lot, and I thought, okay, my right side is pretty secure. Let me start putting pressure on the king, and I just did not know how to do that. And I was scared to move my knight. I thought it was good to keep it there so the bishop doesn't have eyes towards my king. And I had this grandiose plan of opening up this file and bringing my rook and trying to trade rooks and getting into the position that way. Maybe put my rook here, attack the bishop. Like this, these were my thoughts. And here it was cool. I saw the check because he can't take. I have a turn to move. And I think this was the vital time where I messed up. I mean, first I give him the open file, right, by pushing that pawn. Which is why I think it was a bad move. I just didn't want to put all those resources towards defending it. But I didn't realize that, like, oh, if he pushes, the second he pushes forward, I get my resources into the game. And I don't know. I just did not attack this pawn. I still had this idea of, like, taking, and I wasn't aggressive enough. And then I remember this. I spent 2 minutes on this plan. This, like, wow, amazing plan, which wasn't amazing at all. And this is like, I think, something that can help me and maybe you guys, I don't know, which is if you're thinking of a plan, think it through completely. Because I thought of this, what actually played out in the game, I thought of this, and I was like, oh my god, I'm winning. How is he going to protect this? And I thought, okay, he can move the rook here, but no, I'm still going to win. The thing is, I didn't know how I could get out of it. Like, I saw all the moves until here, and I had no idea how to get out of this position, and I still played all of those moves, because I'm like, oh no, it's worth it. And that's what lost me the game. Actually here, I guess my opponent, my opponent had a miss, because they could have taken. And if I just tried to keep going with that plan, like, it's mate. So, I would be forced to get rid of my queen, I think, because if I go like this, then there's something like this, and that's mate, right? So, yeah, bad plan. And I still got lucky. My opponent didn't see it. And I'm like, okay, now I'm putting pressure this way, and he just defends with the rook, and I'm like, well, my other rook needs to do something, or else I lose the game. This was just a bad game for me. A bad game. And here, apparently, the best move is here, just going for that. Well, actually, going for the pawn and getting into the position, forcing him to. And I'm still losing here. So I think I messed up just earlier on what I mentioned before. Yeah, this was a really bad game. But yeah, those were my games. Hopefully you learned something. I think I learned something at least. And yeah, that was the end of day 3. If you guys have any tips on how I can improve these videos or anything, or just, my studying. I'm going to be studying more effectively in like a week or two. I'm just a little busy now in life with other stuff. So, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.